Hello and welcome to the Classic Hollywood Movie You Should Know. I'm Nate Washburn. This week the movie is from 1933, Queen Christina, starring Greta Garbo and John Gilbert. Now the story of Queen Christina, Garbo of course plays the title character, and Christina is an unmarried Queen of Sweden. She gained the throne at age 6 and is this fiercely intelligent, fiercely independent queen who has no interest in marrying just to produce an heir. She wants to learn, she wants to live, and of course that causes problems in the kingdom and in the palace because they want her to marry and have a child to continue the royal line. She has a fling with a Spanish courtier played by John Gilbert, and then she has to decide between love and her duty to country and the throne. Now this film is so worth watching just to sort of experience a Greta Garbo performance. She is almost mythical in the way she's revered as this Hollywood enigma star, the mystery one. She's one of, if not the biggest female stars of the 1930s, and she just quit at the top of the game. She left movies in 1941. She was 36 years old. She retired. She lived until 1990 and never did another film. She's just famously enigmatic. And her performances are really interesting and modern. And in this one in particular, there's so much there. And I think part of it has to do with she's playing an incredibly strong female character based on a true story. Of course, the real Queen Christina, there was no love story with the Spanish envoy, but Garbo gets this really incredible character. She gets her choice of co-stars. Initially, Laurence Olivier was cast, but Garbo said she didn't have good chemistry with him. She told the studio she wanted John Gilbert. Now, John Gilbert, the reason this is really, really interesting, Gilbert was one of the most famous male stars of the silent era. However, once talkies came in, his career disintegrated. He is the star that the movie Singing in the Rain is making fun of, with the star who has a bad voice. The stories all went around that John Gilbert's voice was too high-pitched. He couldn't talk well, like audiences wouldn't take him on screen, and his career just, it came to nothing. Now, Garbo had worked with John Gilbert in the silent era. They actually did 3 silent movies together, had great chemistry. They had an off-screen relationship where they were engaged. She broke off the engagement, but still that they were friends and she wanted to help him, so she cast him as her love interest. She had the power to tell MGM that she wanted John Gilbert, and they gave her John Gilbert. Gilbert's voice is fine. There is absolutely nothing wrong with his voice in Queen Christina. His acting is very wooden and somewhat old-fashioned. Garbo has this sort of modern naturalness and this mystique. Gilbert kind of hams it up and just he's out of his league. This movie did not resurrect his career, and his decline, his inevitable decline, was pretty tragic, unfortunately. The movie cost $1 million. It grossed $2.5 million, and it is one of Garbo's most successful sound movies. Now again, Greta Garbo is so sort of mysterious. She only made 14 sound movies. That's it. That is so few, and yet she is known as one of, if not the greatest female star of this era. For American Film Institute's list of film legends, Greta Garbo is number 5. For the greatest movie stars list by Premiere Magazine, she's number 8. So if you've heard of Garbo, if you've never seen a Garbo film, check out Queen Christina. I do think it's one of her best performances, and it's interesting to see the chemistry between her and John Gilbert, because there's good chemistry on screen even though his acting's not very good. Garbo, John Gilbert, Queen Christina from 1933. It's this week's Classic Hollywood Movie You Should Know. I'm Nate Washburn. Keep watching.